this. Right, okay. So welcome, small and very important group, to the Tthuf annual general meeting. We have, okay, I'm going to admit someone. We have the agenda which we will work through. And, you know, with the small numbers, we, you know, may finish well early. I think Vashti has just joined us. Hi, Vashti. Okay, so I want to say welcome, thank you for attending. Again, this is our second AGM in the pandemic, which, as we all know, has been a challenging period personally, professionally, and internationally. So we've had not a busy year, but we've had 3 significant things happen in the year, which I'll go through in the plan. So first we'll do introductions. I think everybody here know who I am back now. And I've remained the chair and for the next board term, and you know, continue to do the best I can to help the charity fulfill its objectives. So I'll go through and on the call, I'll just say your name, your position. Are you a member or board trustee? And just a bit about yourself, anything you want to say about yourself personally or professionally, either way. So I'll go working down my list, and I'll go to Lisa.
Hello, good morning. Lisa Broom, GPN, just a member of Tthuf. I work as a GPN in the Chiswick area, and recently appointed education lead for one of the education leads for my CCG. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Lisa. And then we go to Vashti.
Well, I'm Vashti. I'm one of the trustee, and a background, I am a nurse.
Okay, Vashti, something wrong with your eyes?
No, oh no.
Okay, all right, no worries, no worries. Okay, next we go to Trisha. Trisha?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Trisha, currently functioning as a trustee and the treasurer.
Thank you, Trisha. And Tasha.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Natasha Quaver, and I am the new secretary. Other than that, I'm a forensic accountant, and I'm happy to be here.
Lovely. Thank you, Tasha. And then we move on to Rosamond. Rosamond? Okay, I don't know if Rosamond is on mute. I can't see the button.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Rosamond.
I'm Rosamond. Just a member. I'm a lawyer in my regular life, and but I was a previous nurse. I was a nurse in my previous life, a general nurse. Like I said, I'm just a member. I've been a member for a couple of years, and so just pleased to meet you.
Lovely, thank you, Rosamond. And then we move to Susan.
Hi, Susan Greaves. I'm a member of Tthuf, but I'm a nurse by background. I work with adults living with autism and learning disabilities.
Great, thank you, Susan. And then finally, at the moment, Louise. Louise is on mute now. She hasn't had, her voice isn't well because she's had the cold. So Louise, do you want to say something, or shall I move on? I know she loses her voice. I spoke to her earlier. And she, okay, so we not sure that is Louise coughing, but never mind. Louise is one of our members, and Louise is retired. She's a retired nurse, and she, she was involved for many, many years with the Trinidad and Tobago Association. And so if Louise, feels during our discussions to unmute and say something, she's welcome to do so. Okay, so fine. So we move on to apologies. So Tasha, have we had any apologies? I think I saw some posted in the chat group. Can you recall who they are?
Just bear with me. I did see a Kurt. I'm okay with what the group decides. Just a minute. I didn't actually notice. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It would have only been from. Are we talking? We're not talking about the board, are we?
No, general members for this meeting. Okay, so I think I saw apologies from Natalie.
Okay.
Natalie. So if we note Natalie's.
I noted down. I noted down. Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else, unless Trisha or Vashti can think of anyone else who sent their apologies.
No, I can't hear anyone else said apology.
Okay. And Michelle said she would have tried to attend, but she's out shopping. She may attend later when she returns. Okay, so that's it. So we now then move to the chair's report. So I've prepared the annual report, which you will receive a copy of it, but I'll go through the key points of it now, not word by word. And of course, you'll receive a copy. Tasha, we'll send you the email addresses to everyone, and we'll email it to you, but we'll also post it in the chat group. So this annual report, it covers more than a year, basically, 15 months to coincide with the year that the Charity Commissions has our financial year running. We had agreed in it. So last year, our report was running from June to May. So that's the report we reported on last year. But this year, the Charity Commission is running our financial year from October to September. So to make it coincide, we've prepared a report from basically first, as it says at the top there, 1st of June 2020 to 30th of September 2021. So from next year, the reports will run annually, October to September, and that's the same year that the Charity Commission has our financial year running to. So that's the right thing to do. So we know we are a registered charity, and the address, which is used, my address, remains the same. So I'll just go through the names. I'll say a bit more details at the moment because there's a bit of changing of roles over the last year. I've remained as the chair because the significant thing has been that it was the end of the board term in August, 3 years. Each board term is a 3-year period, and people have to either resign or put themselves up for renomination. So I've continued in the role as chair for another term. Natalie, who was the vice chair and assistant secretary for a while, she stepped down as in those roles at the end of the term in August. Trisha, she was the secretary for the first term, but as it says there, she's transferred to the treasurer from the new term, September. Leonard, who was the treasurer, he stepped down as treasurer in August at the end of the term. Natasha, who was the assistant treasurer, she has moved to the secretary from September. Rosie, she had stepped down before the end of the term in January. Kurt, who isn't here at the moment, he's extended his term for another, well, his trusteeship for another term. Caroline, she stepped down in August at the end of her term. Vashti, who is on the call, she was a trustee for the first term, and now she's our assistant secretary for this term. Alison, she stepped down as a trustee at the end of the term, and Michaeline, who was an ex officio trustee, she had stepped down earlier in January 2021. So you can see, and I'll say more a bit later, we've had 5 people resigning, no, 4 actually, from the 9 who were at the time in August. Okay, so our patron remains Professor Andrew Ramroop, who has been in Trinidad for a long time. I did invite him to this AGM, which I always do. He did say he will try to attend, but he hasn't been able to join us. Kurt has just joined us. Hello, Kurt. Do you just want to say briefly, introduce yourself, Kurt? Oh, Kurt is on mute.
Hi guys, afternoon all.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Say that I'm one of the trustees. So just sorry to be a bit late, but I'm here.
Okay,
Hi,
glad
all.
you could join us. Okay,
Hello.
great. So carrying on then, so we continue to bank with Metro Bank. So the structure and governance and management of the charity principally remains the same. We haven't revised our constitution in any way significantly, or our policies. You know, we remain, you know, volunteering to the charity. There's no remuneration apart from if we put out expenses, we get them reimbursed. Oh, I'm just admitting Michelle now. So all this is all in the governing document in our constitution, which I'm not going to go through verbatim now. Now, it remains the situation that, you know, the trustees are all volunteers and giving their time up. And I think, Michelle, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Hello, Michelle. Hi. Do you want to just introduce yourself, Michelle? I think everyone knows you, but just in case.
I'm Michelle Niels James. I remember by background member of Tthuf since the beginning of the charity. Sorry, I'm late.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so it needs to be said, because this is a voluntary thing for people who may be involved in other charities. You know, we as a board, we remain very grateful for the hours that everyone puts in, trustees and members, you know, when we have to liaise with TNT, whether we have a subgroup, whether we have fundraising. Without this, we won't exist, basically. So we just wanted on record that we are very thankful for people's time. Even attending this meeting, it means that, you know, you're taking time out from your busy schedules to make this charity function. So the rest, again, all from our governing document in the Constitution when we were founded, and when we got registered as a charity. The Constitution is that each board term is a 3-year term. So as I said, one term is finished and we've now started a new term, and people can leave or join in between those terms, I have to say. But you know, it's just the constitutionally a term is 3 years, and we try to see if people could at least serve their term, but there is no obligation. If people, you know, feel that for other personal reasons they can't do so, they can step down. And of course, we can co-opt people into on the board outside of the official start term. Now, the running of the charity is basically led by the chair, the secretary, assistant secretary, the treasurer, and if we have an assistant treasurer, you know, those are the individuals that, you know, ensures the charity meets, pursues its objectives, complies with the charity commission, you know, follows its constitution, etc. Those are the people who are the forefront leading. We had up until now been meeting 10 times a year for board meetings. The only month, once a month, the only months we were not meeting were August and December, but we've now reviewed that. We're going to now meet every other month from next year. So we'll reduce the frequency of meetings, primarily because, I mean, we're functioning long enough now, and plus there is the lesser activities, fewer board members, etc. like that. So that's what's going to happen from next year. Risk management remains the same. The pandemic, which I reported on last year, which we were in the middle of, the pandemic is still on. I know there's been some changes. Last year we were entering major, that's third lockdown, and things were very different. Whilst things have been opened up significantly since last year, we know there is still infection rates a concern in some areas, despite high vaccination rates, because last year we hadn't had the vaccine as yet when we did the AGM. It's over about 80% of people in the country have had both doses, but still infection rates are increasing, hospitalization rates are increasing, but I don't think, from the statistics I see, the death rates are not increasing to the same degree as it was. So we're still mindful of that situation. Our objectives and activities remain the same. We're still for public benefit. Sorry, someone wants to say something? Okay, no, okay. So now I just go on to the 5-year strategy milestone. When we started in not when we started in 2017, but we developed a strategy to run from 2019 to 2024. And we did well for the first 2/3, you will see, you know, you'll see the date completed. We signed a partnership with the TTRNA. I have to say that hasn't evolved into much more than signing it that we anticipated. We became an approved supplier for the Ministry of Health. Again, that didn't materialize into anything practical. We became registered as a charity. We launched our paid membership scheme. We launched our website, and we participated in the World Mental Health Week. So those early days, we were achieving our milestones. However, you will see from the due date, the 31st of March 2020, which is basically coincide with the pandemic, we have really not progressed beyond. I mean, the completion of at least one project in Trinidad and Tobago, it would have been a challenge anyway, but I think the pandemic has even made it more difficult. And these others, I've said we have to review this now, because the online training for staff, accreditation scheme, recruitment agencies, twinning program, those were lofty ambitions, but with our resources as they are at the moment, the pandemic, the board and us, we will relook at this and decide, are these things feasible given the current structure of the organization and the fact that we are in a pandemic. Okay, so I'll go through now the summary of the year. As I said, this is a reporting period between June last year and September this year to coincide with the Charity Commission's annual year for us. We've been conservative, I will say, but we've remained focused on committed to achieving Tthuf's purpose. We have continued to meet online. So as a board, we haven't met face-to-face since February 2020. But despite that, we still, in my view, continue to function and operate good corporate and financial governance of the organization. And you will be the judge of that as well as members. But in my view as chair, we have make sure we've governed the charity as, in line with Charity Commission rules. There's not been much contact with Trinidad and Tobago in the past year during the reporting year, and that's I think that's twofold. I think it's normally challenging anyway. Our key contacts are the president of the TTRNA and who is the equivalent of the chief nurse for the Ministry of Health. But the pandemic has really made it even more difficult. I mean, the focus and emphasis on everyone related to health in the world, and Trinidad and Tobago is no exception, is on the pandemic. And there is very little conversations about anything else other than the pandemic. And so we haven't really progressed in the past year much at all. And in fact, not even, we had tried at the middle of last year, we started having meetings with the TTRNA, and they haven't really happened this year either. And I have to say, not for want of trying from us. I think from our end, we are ready and able, but as you know, not most, all partnerships, relationships, it's a two-way process, and we haven't had that response from our key contacts from the TTRNA in Trinidad and Tobago. So that sort of stalled over the last year. But however, we've had some achievements. So the main focus in the past year has been assisting the stranded nationals. So people would be aware of this. In January this year, we began a campaign to assist those people who had been stranded in the UK, those nationals, the TNT nationals, stranded in the UK as a result of TNT closing its borders as a result of the pandemic. We were aware of 7 such individuals, and they had applied for assistance from Tthuf. And so we developed a policy where we had an application form and some sort of level of risk assessment. And we held extraordinary board meetings, meaning outside of our monthly meetings, to review the applications and support package that we will offer each individual. Now, the one they were telling us were that if you can imagine, you go on holiday or you go to study for a country, you plan to go back at a dedicated time, and that doesn't happen. In most cases, most people won't have the resources to continue to stay indefinitely. So they were experiencing challenges, including accommodation, impact on their physical and mental health, financial burden. So we considered all of those things, and these are the list of things that we offered. We donated £200 to each of them, so that was £1,400. That was the largest single donation to any campaign we've given since we've been a charity. We gave them advice and assistance on registering with GP. At least 2 of them did not have a GP. We gave them advice on registering for free prescriptions, and again, for those who didn't have that, that was a welcome thing, because a couple of them were paying for prescriptions for, ongoing conditions they had from Trinidad. We found free accommodation for 2 nationals. We provided contact details for a shipping company. It was a TNT person who owned the shipping company, and I know of 2 people who used them. I'm not sure if any more did. We offered the details. Again, there was a TNT national who was a lawyer, was offering free legal advice. We gave the details. I don't know how many utilized the service. But also, trustees provided emotional and psychological support to some, not all of them, just listening to their concerns, offering advice, and just being there for them when they were feeling a bit distressed and down, etc. And also, another thing we did was, there was one national who was in transit to Trinidad and Tobago, and they were in Barbados, and they ended up either missing the flight, or the flight was, no, I think the flight was, they thought they would get an immediate connecting flight from Barbados to Trinidad, and it turned out it was going to be longer than, it wasn't going to be the same day. So one of our members knew someone in Barbados, and they contacted them. We gave the details. There was a bit of toing and froing, but I think this was a very good thing. That Barbadian national then assisted this person with some essential food items for the length of time they were going to wait for their plane to Trinidad. I think it might have been a day or two. I can't remember. Trisha may be able to remember. Trisha, can you recall how long the person had to stay in Barbados? Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, she's on mute.
Yes, well, it was for the quarantine time. The thing is that the CAL flight was cancelled whilst they were in flight to Barbados. Since when they landed, they were informed that the flight had been cancelled. So they had to quarantine, and what was Barbados's quarantine at that time? Was it 9 days or 10 days requirement?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in my opinion, everyone, I think this was a good achievement. It's something I think we should all be proud of, everyone who participated, and because it made a big difference to those people who were impacted. It really did. And they all were very thankful for it. Not just the cash, it's the other things, the GPs, the prescriptions, the other things like that. So again, thank you all for, supporting this effort, and it's something Tthuf should be well and truly be proud of. Okay, so the other thing that has happened in the reporting period is we've had 2 fundraisers. Of course, we haven't had our annual curricule because of the pandemic, but our then vice chair, who's obviously stepped down now, Natalie, she did 2 fundraisers for her birthday, for August last year and this year. All funds raised were going to Tthuf, and these were raffles. Basically, she got the company Kalita Designs donated dresses, 1 last year, 2 this year. Design addresses, you would have been aware of the campaign, and people donated various sums. There wasn't a fixed fee, people donated, and by donating to the raffle, you enter the draw basically. And Natalie, pulled names out of her hat. And last year she raised £1,005.90, and in this year she raised £1,331.12. Again, so in 2 years, 2,337.02. I think is a remarkable achievement. I want to expressly thank Natalie for initiating these fundraisers. It's a substantial amount of money, to be honest with you, and we can't be grateful enough for that. We just need to try and learn from how we can build this as a fundraiser. Clearly, the designer dresses are worth quite a lot of money, and they were donated, and it's something how we can build on going forward. So thank you, Natalie, again, and thank you for all those who supported the raffle and the fundraisers. So we still remain, we did 2 fundraisers in the pandemic despite obvious restrictions. Right, and the other major event which I've alluded to was the end of the board's 3-year term. And as I said, all existing trustees at the time were asked to whether they will step down or continue in line with our constitution. And we had 9 trustees at the time, 4 have stepped down and 5 have remained. Now, constitutionally, 5 is the minimum trustees we can have to be operating as a trust, as a charity. We can have a maximum of 15. So it's touch and go. Of course, any one of 5 of us, for whatever reason, can step down at any moment, and that makes us unconstitutional. And we would need to think about what our next steps would be. That's why it's never good to have the exact minimum number, because of course you have to allow for unforeseen circumstances. But that's where we are at the moment, and we continue to ask anyone who is our members if they would like to become our on our board of trustees, consider it for a period of time and see what the experience would be like. As a member, that's our, it's very important you know what the current situation is. Okay, so those are all the trustees are on the AGM at the moment, and these are the names which I've mentioned of the people who stood down during the year. Now, Tricia will say more about this in a moment, but we began the reporting period with a balance of 5,767 and 49p, and we ended the reporting period, which is September 2021, with 7,607p and 7,607 pounds and 88p. So we've increased our financial balance by 1,840 and 39p. Of course, you have to minus the 1,400 pounds we paid out, and plus we renewed things like our website, and there was an ongoing operating cost we paid for our Tthuf logo fee and so on. So still a very good balance increase during a pandemic. A lot of it down to hard work and dedication, and of course the members fee is also a very significant part of that as well. So thank you all again for your commitment to Tthuf. So our plan for the next year, now this is going to be developing, and Tricia will say a bit more about this, but we want to develop a working relationship with the World Cancer Research Fund, and I'll let Tricia say a bit more about that later. We want to re-establish relationships with Trinidad and Tobago. That's going to be ongoing. That has its challenges. Doing this now for a few years, it definitely has its challenges, and there are opportunities that might come here and there. Just recently, there's an organization, a non-profit organization that's going to be launched for diaspora organizations to sort of connect as a single database point, a point of contact. So we're going to have discussions with them and see if how that can materialize going forward. We also want to try and establish some connections with healthcare charities in Trinidad and Tobago. It's been tough. I've sent a few introduction emails, but like the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, the Diabetic Association of Trinidad and Tobago, the Heart Foundation, all these organizations, but again, I don't find them as responsive as probably I would like. So, but we'll continue, and I think it's one of these roles. It's an ongoing thing. You have to just keep doing, going on. We're going to continue to renew our engagement strategy with fewer board members now. We just need to cut our cloth accordingly and see what we can do with our restricted resources. And we're going to have to consider the feasibility of a fundraising event. The pandemic is still on. We haven't said yet whether we're going to outright not have a fundraising curricula. We haven't decided what else we will do. But if you have any ideas, of course, you're happy to offer some contributions as well to, different types of fundraising events. We know we've had the Natalie birthday fundraising the last couple of years, whether you think we could consider some other event. So that is my chair's report. Before I go on to Tricia and the financial statement, are there any questions for me?
I have one. Are we still pushing to encourage new members? I remember there was a drive towards that, and I wonder if it's ongoing or whether we could lay back and relax and not try to encourage other people interested in supporting our healthcare system in joining Tthuf.
Okay. It's ongoing. We can never stop encouraging members. We don't have a campaign as such at the moment, and we need to consider how we have a vibrant recruitment drive, if you want to call it that. We as a board and members, you can put suggestions, and we do a campaign to try and recruit a recruitment drive to get more members. That we don't have a ceiling for members, and we're more likely at the moment people are ceasing being members than new members joining us. So yes, it's ongoing, but we have not had a dedicated campaign for a while.
Okay.
Any other comments on the membership drive element? No? Okay, so that's my chair's report. You get the full report in the report. So the next agenda item is Tricia, and as our treasurer, over to you, Tricia.
Okay, Chair, before we go further, just so that we are validating this actual AGM, do we have any draft minutes or approved minutes of the previous AGM, please?
I presume we do, which we, yes, I suppose we do. No, I think that's not. Let me have a look. 1920, I think it would have been. We must have, because we presented and you would have done them.
Yeah.
So if you'd send them to me, I would have them.
Yep.
I'll have to look for them. I didn't look for them we didn't put it on the agenda, and the agenda was we should have included it as, you know, on the agenda. Okay, I will look for it, Tricia. And yeah, so once you do that, have you got your own copy of your finance, or do you need me to share my report once I look at this then?
Okay, I can if I can just move this thing. I'm just trying to. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Right, so the financial report for the charity. This is covering, as Roger said earlier, the period the 1st of June 2020 to the 30th of September 2021. By doing presenting these 16 months of financial activity, it will allow us to then just follow on with the Charity Commission, you know, picks up our information, the way they send out any communication, etc. So all our previous annual financial reports can be found on our website. And the last report that ran from 1st of June 2019 to the 31st of May 2020. Please note that as a charity, we don't have any assets, we don't do any investments or anything like that. It's just straight membership fees, any income earned from fundraising events, or any donations that people choose to make to the organization. That's where our income comes in. So at the start of the reporting period, we had a balance of £5,767.49 in the account. Throughout the period that is under review, we had an income of £4,021.02, and expenditure totaling £2,180.83. At the time that this report was done, going up to the end of September, 30th of September, we had a balance of £7,607.88 in the account. If we go down, Roger, can you go down to page 2, please? Because I'm reading the laptop, not your screen. So this breakdown here on page 2, it shows by different categories what we had coming in over that period of time. So we don't have any restrictions on any money that we have in the account. So we have nothing under restricted. We have no endowments. The money that we have, it's unrestricted. We haven't put any barriers or reservations on the funds. So under grants and donations, and I put here via salaries, because we do have a member who has a monthly deduction, specific deduction that comes out, and that comes into our account. And that totaled £39. Through membership subscriptions for that period, we took in £1,745. We didn't sell any polo shirts. We didn't have the Curricue fundraiser. We didn't sell any lapel pins. Fundraiser, that would be through the 2 events that Natalie Johnson hosted. We got a total of £2,287.02, bearing in mind that it was two birthdays that fell in this reporting period. We got nothing through gift aid receipts. We're still to complete that process so that we can reclaim funds via the gift aid program. So that totaled £4,071.02, and that just follows right across to the what comes under the total there. So subtotal, that total the same, because we had nothing else coming in. As I said, we have no assets. We're not investing in anything. We haven't sold any property or anything like that. So nil there. We didn't pay out on anything for polo shirts or Curricue, where I put Trinidad and Tobago Stranded Nationals. So it's clear we made a total payment of £1,400 on that campaign. Our online platforms expenses came up to £780.83. Nothing else going out. So that total came up to £2,180.83. We haven't bought any property. Yeah, we haven't transferred any funds or anything like that. So cash in the bank on the 30th of September 2021 was £7,607.88. Yeah, and so we will. This has been scrutinized by the board and approved by the board. The members, the general members, had this for a few days now. If anyone has picked up on any discrepancies or noticed anything that would affect the balance, please point out, because we will get this fully signed off and then submitted to Charity Commission in due time, so that we are not breaching and that we are maintaining the transparency and openness around our finances for the charity. So that's it really for the annual financial report. Happy to take straightforward questions, nothing technical, please, because this is not really my forte.
Yeah, I have one question, Tricia.
Yes.
I think there is the version you were reading from. I think it might have been an updated version that you sent me, because my version 2 of your annual report. Can you see my screen?
Hold on a minute. Let me come back into that view, because I was. Where are we? Hold on. Just a minute. Still. Okay. Yeah. Let me go into view. Full screen. Okay.
So you can see my screen. So in the income.
Oh, Roger, I sent you an updated version on this, because this is probably the first version that you're looking at.
No, it says version 2. Okay, so I think we need to carry. I have version 2. So
I sent you an updated version after the board meeting. I sent you an updated version.
Okay, so
just before.
Okay, fine. Okay, so there is an updated version, which I think that's why I picked up there was I think a £50 discrepancy. Let me check, and I will redo the figures. Obviously, resend this before this is signed off and approved. We will obviously make sure the balance is correct. because it's
Chair, I presented that updated version at the last board meeting. Yeah, the only thing I needed was to change a date above. But I presented what I just read out. I presented that at the last board meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I thought that's what I copied and pasted onto this report. And I may have copied and pasted the previous version. That's fine, Trisha.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yes.
Will you allow me to share the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can do
I
that.
think let me stop sharing.
Yeah,
I think
let me see if I can do that. Okay, so if I go to share screen. Okay, so you need to enable me to share. At the moment it's not activated.
No, that's a good question. I don't know how to enable you to share. I don't know how to do that, unfortunately. Let's see. Okay, I think if I go to participants.
Yes, and just enable me.
And I go to you. Let's see. Make host, have I got to make you the host?
I'm not sure, but you can try that.
Let me try.
And then I'll hand it back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if it's allowing me now. Right, so I'm the host now, and where is that? What I was reading from, is it this one? Okay. Sometimes it takes a bit of while to load. Tell me when you can see it.
Yes, I can see your screen now.
Okay, fine. So this is what I was reading from.
Okay.
This is what I presented. Okay, so as I said, we started with 5767.49. Yeah, on the 1st of June last year. We had a total income of 4,021.02 and total expenditure of 2,180.83. At 30, balance of 7,607.88 in the account. Just trying to scroll down here because I've got, hold on. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
And just very quickly through, you can see £39 there, membership 1,745.
Yeah.
We end fundraisers that, subtotal is that, yeah?
That's great. Fantastic. Okay, so that version, if you don't mind sending it to me again, because you must have sent it. I'm just scrolling. I don't know where it is. And that's the version I will copy and paste on. So let's deal with this version Trisha is sharing. Any questions on it? That is the correct version. Any questions for Trisha from board members or from general members?
Roger and Trisha, just a quick question. I had posted it in the chat. So for those of us who ticked gift aid, when is that gift aid actually going to kick in so that we can get that 25% or 20% back to the charity, to the organization?
Yeah. Okay, so that's my responsibility. I've taken that on board to undertake. Okay, I'll show you what I'm doing at the moment, but I have to apply for it. And I haven't done so yet. But I plan to do so hopefully December, January time.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. Any other questions for Trisha on the financial statement? No? Okay, so Trisha, is it okay if you send me that version again, please?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I'll stop sharing now, yeah?
Okay, great. Thank you. As this is okay. I think I have to go back to. I think I have to go back to you. Doesn't allow me to do anything. Does it allow you to say stop being participant, Trisha, or stop being host?
You have to stop me being host, 'cause I've just admitted Andrew.
Okay.
He's just coming in, because I could see that because you made me the host. So now you need to take that back. Or do I? Let me see.
I think you need to make me the host now.
Hold on, we're looking for this.
Yeah,
now.
click on my name and go to.
Okay, let's see. So go actions. Oh, hold on. Right. Make host. There you go. And it should be over to you now.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Tricia, and welcome Jeanette, and welcome Andrew. I think you are on our. So we've done the chair's report and the we've done the financial report just a moment ago. I was just looking to see, because a question was asked about the finance, maybe. Finance, maybe. Yes, so this is what I'm doing. For those who missed it, for any donations or paid membership fee, once people sign to say they want to gift aid their donation or membership fee, HMRC gives an additional 25% of each donation or contribution. So this is the database I'm completing now. I think I just need to add Kurt, I think's name. Suzanne, so you can see your name is there, etc. And then I tally this and I send this off to HM. I don't send the database. I fill out a web form thing based on this. So we'll get 25% of all of this here. So yes, so that's my action, which I will undertake to do over the next couple of months. Any questions on that? No. Okay, so so just going back, Tricia asked about the meeting last year, the AGM. So these are the minutes. So that's what we can do. Okay, so I think we had sent this at the time, didn't we, Tricia? But the question is, we didn't send it prior to this meeting for people to review it so that they could see if there's any corrections and so on, because even there's some track changes here. So I think what I'm going to do is, unless people object, I'm going to tidy this up and send it to attendees again, have a look at it, and we'll have to approve this by proxy. If you have any, corrections to make, etc., because we won't be able to, it's not fair for us to look at it now and expect you to say, yes, you agree with them or not. For those who were at the meeting last year, does anyone have any other suggestion on this about the minutes of last AGM?
My worry is that because this would be a standard AGM item, and it really signs off on last year's AGM. So, but I sent you a version, I sent you an updated version that didn't have track changes. I'm not really sure what's been happening with emails, but I sent that through to you and Natasha.
Or did you? Okay,
yeah.
Maybe, okay. I mean, I think, Tricia, it's not fair to ask everyone on this call to read this through now and agree to it now. And, we did as a board look at the agenda and we didn't have it there. It's an omission. We put our hands up. We didn't have it on there. We need to sign it off, but we can't do that at this meeting. What we need to do is do this by proxy, send the updated version, give people a time to come back with any changes. That's quite within, that's acceptable. And we will approve the minutes remotely that way. That's my suggestion. Does anyone have an alternative suggestion? Does anyone disagree with that suggestion?
No.
Sorry?
No.
No, it's quite all right.
Okay, I'm not hearing any objection. So Trisha, again, sorry again.
No.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, all right. So I'll do that immediately. So Trisha, again, if you, when you send me the updated financial statement, can you send me the updated minutes as well, please, in the same email if possible, and I will do them straight away, forward to members, and update the annual statement. Is that okay, Trisha?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay, so sorry everyone for the couple of not up-to-date documents that we should have done. Okay, right. So I think Andrew has joined us, and welcome Andrew as our patron. Andrew, would you like to say anything briefly before we move on?
Well, thank you. Thank you for your invitation to the meeting. I'm actually out with my son at the moment. He wouldn't let me sit quietly. That's why, and I've been to the market this morning. That's why I've been so late. My apologies.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find him because he's Junior.
Find him. Oh.
Well, he's in the outside in the yard, and he just ran away. He's only 2 years old, 2.5 soon. Right. The subject in line. No, nothing to add. Nothing to add. I did ask you something in regard to what activities you've done so far since the last meeting or so far this year.
Yeah. So you just missed that bit. So I did my chair report, and so I went through the three main things we have done this year. Just say briefly as our patron again, and you will receive a copy of the annual
meeting.
So,
yep, sure.
So the first thing was we assisted the stranded nationals, and I think you're aware of that.
Yes.
And this is which you can see on the screen. These are the various assistance we gave, the £200 each, assisting with GPs, accommodation, etc., etc. That has been a active thing we've done in the year, and in fact, since we existed. We also, Natalie, who I know you know, she is stepped down now, but she was our vice chair and assistant. She did 2 birthday fundraisers because the period covers June to September this year. So in August last year and this year, raised funds for her birthday, and all funds raised went to Tthuf, and those were consisted of raffles, which a designer company donated dresses, 1 last year, 2 this year, for her raffle, and people donated various sums, but by making a donation, they entered into the draw, and someone won last year, 2 people won this year. So we raised £2,337 and 2p, which is a fantastic year. So it's a lot of money.
Good.
Yep, and then the other major event was our board has a constitutional term of 3 years. So believe it or not, we did the first 3 years, and that ended in August. So people had to either resign, step down, or renew their terms. And we had 9 people on the board at that time, and 4 people stood down. So we just have the minimum board trustees at the moment of 5. Those are the names there. I've remained as chair. Trisha has changed from secretary to treasurer. Tasha has moved from treasurer to secretary. Vashti has come in as assistant secretary, and Kurt has remained as a trustee. These are the names of the people standing down, and then that's it. And then people have given their Trisha just talked about the finances. Our balance report end of September is £7,607 and 80. Again, very good, an increase of actually we just will update this because it might be out a few pounds based on the latest version, but it's a that is definitely the final version of the money, end of September.
Okay.
And the plan for next year, Trisha is going to talk about a relationship we want to develop with the World Cancer Research Fund. We're going to try and establish relationships with Charities, which has gone more or less dormant in the last year or so, pandemic and everything else. We're going to try and relook at our engagement strategy to get more people involved as members, and we're going to consider the feasibility of having fundraising events next year in the
Have you introduced yourself to the new High Commissioner?
No, I haven't introduced myself to the new.
No, what I really meant is not personally, but I meant the organization.
No, we haven't. I don't. I haven't. We did the acting one. We never heard back, but so it's something we will do. We'll send a normal letter of introduction to ourselves to the new High Commissioner. When did they start, Andrew, in position?
Pardon?
When did they?
He took up his role, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now.
Okay. All right. We will send the normal introductory letter explaining our existence, and we have a standard letter, and any opportunity to meet and explain our organization, we will welcome it. Okay. Good. Do you know the person personally, the new High Commissioner?
No, I don't know him personally. I got introduced to him via email.
Okay.
But may I have a look at the copy of that introductory letter, or your standard letter, rather?
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
I just want to have a look at it and see how it's structured, and if there are any comments I have to make,
okay,
I will.
Great. Lovely. Okay. Thank you, Andrew.
Good. Thank you.
So now we have a few actions from this meeting. I know it's being recorded. That's the other thing. But Tricia, please make a note for the immediate actions so that I can act on them straight away. I know Tricia is going to send me a couple of things for me to act on. I've got to send the introductory letter to Andrew. These things could be done before the minutes. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sorry, Chair, that will be Natasha doing that.
Did I say Tricia? Tasha.
Yes, you did.
Tasha. Tasha, if you can send me the key points, actions, straight away after the meeting, I would appreciate it. Tasha, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, great. So now we move on to the next is the World Cancer Research Fund, and Tricia will talk about it, and then we'll get members' view and whether you agree with what Tricia is saying and the action as a charity we want to take. So Tricia, over to you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Right. So the World Cancer Research Fund is a registered charity here in the UK, and they also function in the Netherlands. When I presented to the board, I declared that I am a cancer survivor champion for this organization. So that's the relationship that I have with them. I have been involved in a number of campaigns, written articles, etc., for the organization. And having attended a Facebook, what do you call it now, webinar or something like that, which ran from Trinidad, I connected with a lady in Trinidad who is a representative for another organization that deals with bras for women. She has built up a network of ladies in Trinidad and in other Caribbean islands to supply, proper fitting bras. It emerged that a lot of these ladies, they are also cancer survivors, or they have cancer, breast cancer in particular, survivors in their families. And we know from previous webinars that we've done that there is an issue with the what is available to breast cancer survivors, not just in Trinidad, but in the Caribbean region, because namely, we don't have the sort of reconstruction options and so on, for example, that we have here. So a number of women, for example, they have their mastectomies and they just have one breast. They have to facilitate, a certain type of bra where they stuff it or something like that. They don't have access to prostheses and proper fitting bras. So I reached out to the to WCRF, one lady in particular who I have been dealing with over the past 2 years, and I said, is this something that WCRF can actually get involved in? Because not just the whole thing about the prostheses and the type of bras, etc., but coming from the WCRF point of view, where they focus on a holistic approach to living with cancer, surviving your cancer diagnosis and treatment. They focus a lot on lifestyle changes and looking at the impact of diet on the way, on our health. We do know that there are lots of myths and misconceptions out there around what sort of foods you should eat and you should not eat once you've been given a cancer diagnosis. And they have actually run a number of, and they still do run a number of webinars, etc., with healthcare professionals, dietitians, and so on, qualified in their areas, really debunking, as they say, a number of these myths. They do encourage exercise and so on. In speaking with her, she was actually quite excited because it was something that she was thinking about, but in terms of, having it formatted and who would she link with and so on, that was, something to be explored and developed. What I also said to her, seeing that WCRF, focuses on diet and so on, in the Caribbean region, we know that we have access to wholesome foods. I'm talking here now about the ground provisions and so on, lots of natural products that, unfortunately, as time has gone on, a lot of people have moved away from. But it's really getting the scientific evidence, just how wholesome these foods are, and getting, cancer survivors and so on to tap into these natural resources. So again, it's something that she has to put to her board of directors. The plan is initially, once we reach an agreement with them, what each side would be bringing to the table, there will be webinars that will be put on. Tthuf will feature these webinars, and the project itself, from my understanding, will be sponsored by WCRF. They've got the budget to do that. But of course, we have to get all of this in writing or memorandum of understanding if we're entering into a contract, whatever, are the formalities of this whole thing. And for me, it's not meant to be, like a one-off. I'm seeing it as being an ongoing project that will have its base here, but will enable us to reach out via this lady in Trinidad to different community groups, etc., in Trinidad, and also in the Caribbean islands, the other Caribbean islands, where she is building up this network. Webinars, etc. We get these people to tune in to participate. Some of them, depending on how the webinar is structured, they may be even panelists themselves, etc. So there's a lot of scope. There's a lot to be explored and formalized with this, but I thought it was an opportunity for Tthuf to, to get into that arena. WCRF, some people say never heard of them. I can provide the link to their website. You can go on and see, exactly what they're about, how long they've been around, their registered charity number is there. As I said, I took part in the Christmas campaign last year, so there is a video where they have captured, what they did, the income that they got from the campaign, how many people they helped, how many people reached out, how many webinars they ran, etc. So all that information is there, captured in that video, as well as when you go onto their website. So there's a lot of information out there about the organization. They've been around for, I would say, at least 15 years or so. So it's not, like a new startup or anything like that. They are established. They are regulated just as we are by the Charity Commission. So it's just putting this on the table. It was I presented to the board at the last board meeting, and it's just to let the general membership be aware that there is this opportunity for Tthuf. And if anybody has any questions or they've got any concerns or anything like that, we can, see what we can flesh out here, bearing in mind that we don't actually have, an agreement at the moment, but the talks have actually started. So over to you, Chair.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Tricia. Of course, as you said, we've discussed it both on a one-to-one and as at the board. I think this seems like a golden opportunity. It's a healthcare charity. It deals with cancer. It'll be, working with, someone in Trinidad and Tobago with breast cancer and all the elements of that. But of course, World Cancer Research Fund isn't just about breast cancer. There could be other opportunities as well. And I see this as something, as potentially significant. Of course, at this point, there's no guarantee that the discussions would lead to anything substantial. But the fact that we have the opportunity, that is the opportunity. So is there any questions about this opportunity or comments anyone would like to make?
Yes, Roger. It's Jeanette speaking.
Oh, hi, Jeanette.
So how can Tthuf help them, or how can they help Tthuf?
Okay, thank you. Tricia, do you want to respond?
Okay, so Jeanette, by participating in the webinars, which is what we will most likely start off with.
Okay.
I've done a number of webinars, where I've talked about my cancer journey to date. And that has then, resulted in communications with other people, etc. It allows not just cancer survivors, but people who may be carers or whatever, to actually participate, to be involved. At the moment, nobody really knows about Tthuf. Yes, and this, as it is an opportunity for us to collaborate, to partner, to link up with an established charity that is interested in an idea that has been pitched to them.
I think it's a very good idea. Thank you. I think it's a very good idea.
Thank you, Jeanette. So we keep our fingers crossed that I guess let's we come through the Christmas period, because most places are focusing on their Christmas drive for funds, etc. And let's see what the new year brings. Of course, if I have any updates, they would go to the board and then be filtered out to the general membership. But let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions for Tricia?
Okay. I think it's doable, given that it's our participation in with respect to our webinars, because I don't think a lot of us will have the expertise that Tricia would have to give any other input that would be that will have a great impact on their organization. But we're happy to get involved in their webinar.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we'll see where this goes. I'm not hearing any objections for Tthuf as it's a member organization, so you have to view. If you have a reservation or objection, please say now, because it will be if we sign up to any agreement, it will be being done in your name. So you have to, if you have any reservations, express those. So I would like to just ask again, does anyone have any reservations about this potential opportunity?
No reservations, if I may say, but just to ask a question, with these, should we say, brother organizations, do they have an affiliate and a facility to affiliate with them? Or is it open to make applications for an affiliation?
I don't know. Tricia?
I am not sure. I can ask, because, I guess organizations are open to ideas. And I mean, when I had to give the lady a bit of background about Tthuf, I made it very clear that, we're still very, very young in the charity scheme of things. We're very tiny. But she was impressed, when I said, okay, well, we had the stranded nationals and we were able to assist and so on. She found that quite impressive. And I sent what you call it now, like a summary of the organization to date, just capturing some main points about the current trustees that we have and the achievements and some of the work that we've done. Obviously, we haven't had any feedback and so on, but she has that information. So if they are willing, and agree to do this collaboration with us, of course, let us explore, if we can be affiliated to them. It's anything positive and legal that, gets Tthuf out there in the spotlight, and we are able to fulfill the things that we have set out, then of course, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. Okay, so are we happy to move on then? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, so we're moving on. The next agenda item, which we won't spend long on, is the fundraising strategy, because I mentioned it in my chair's report. We're still in the pandemic. Our main fundraising before the pandemic was the curry queue. We did for 2 years and did very well on them. And of course, the last 2 years, we haven't had a curry queue. However, we've had Natalie's birthday fundraiser. We need to think, we haven't come up with what we're going to do yet for 2022. The board will maybe, consider this at our next meeting and then come with some suggestions. But if you have some suggestions as well, please offer them. These things need to be planned in advance, of course, and we are November now, and I don't know where you sit, but I think this pandemic doesn't look like it would be over in the summer. But, things are normal, quotes and quotes. There's, we were out last night and, so theaters are open and people are going about their business. I know people are having various events. There isn't a lockdown as such. So things are happening. People are free to go and do things. Yes, you have to, it's even recommended you wear masks. It's not even mandatory right now as we speak. So, we need to think as an organization within this environment, do we want to have something like a curry queue in the summer if things will, they are now, because there's nothing preventing that. But let us think about it. It would need obviously people's support and to deliver the curry queue, for those who've been involved in it, what it entails. It's a lot of work and so on. Let us think about it and think whether, because we would need to decide early in the year if we're going to plan that event for the summertime, or if we think it's still uncertain, do we do something different, which has less direct contact, but can raise funds in a similar way, like the raffle that naturally is done for the past 2 years. Any questions on a fundraising strategy for next year? Or comments or suggestions?
Could you not consider repeating what you've done before? I haven't been there, so I couldn't tell exactly what format it took place. But could it not be like a takeaway or collect and?
Yeah, we can consider that. I mean, if everyone agrees and we have chefs who volunteer their time, we'd need a place, a venue. Let's consider. Let's put that down as a suggestion. So, you mean rather than the coming people would basically just come and collect the curry queue,
Yes.
And take away. Yeah, let's put that as an option. Yeah, we can try that if it's if the people who doing the cooking agrees and we as a board agree. I'm sure we can do that. We just need to plan it and organize it. Yeah.
What comes to mind if people are cooking at different locations, or whether they're cooking in one place? I don't know. If they're cooking in different locations, it may even be more convenient to reach a wider audience because people can collect at different locations.
All right. Again, that's very good suggestion, but let's think how practical. Some people cook different things. Not everybody cooked also. They might, we need to organize that, who's cooking what and where people need to collect from. I haven't thought of it, and others may or may not. So we'll put that down as one of the suggestions, Andrew, when we look at our list and see what we can do. So thanks for the suggestion.
Sure. I think the raffle idea is a very good one. Do you have to have a license to do the raffle?
No.
No.
You don't.
We are a registered charity, so we can fundraise. You need a license if you're doing an event where you're serving alcohol.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. If you were not a registered charity, yes, you would need a license. But that, by nature, a registered charity, that means you can raise funds various ways. Okay. Okay, that's it. So that's our fundraising strategy. We move on to the membership. So I think it was alluded to. I have your name down here, Tricia. Do you want to say anything about the membership?
Let me unmute myself. Can I just exit full screen? Okay. All right. So with regard to membership, it's just to make everyone aware or remind or just flag again, we are very dependent on the small number of members that we have paying their membership fees on time. We know that the year runs from the 1st of August to the 31st of July. There are different options that people can take in terms of how they pay. You can pay, if it's £5 a month, the total is £60, and £30 for our old age pensioners, and if we have any students. So we know we've got that rate. People can pay a lump sum, the full £60. They can decide to do £30, they can do £5 a month or whatever. But it's just a reminder, please, to everyone that they ought to keep their membership fees coming in on time. Yeah, we've dwindled in number, and the funds, as you saw from the breakdown earlier, each month, basically that is our income, whatever comes in membership fees. We don't have, any other source of income at the moment. So it is important that we get that in. And I think it also helps with at least, keeping people engaged when they think, okay, so this has shown up on my statement. What is stuff doing this month or something like that? So it sort of keeps the organization on everyone's radar at some point in time. Yeah, and the other thing, as I know Roger put it very subtly when he sent out a message in the membership chat, but do please remember when we have the AGM,
you may say, you're turning up at the AGM, but in terms of, voting on any motions or anything like that, it is important that you have valid membership at that time. So please do bear that in mind as well. That's it, Chair. I don't think I have anything else to say at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you, Trustee. And just a final point on that, we do know that our membership will fluctuate. People will come and go, and it's people's free will to do so. So after a reminder, and we do give people some grace, we know that for various reasons people either forget or whatever. But if people genuinely want to disengage from being a member, that's fine. We can't hold anyone to it. We will eventually just write and officially say that, your membership has come to an end, etc. And that means that for you, you're no longer a paid member, and so on and so forth. But we're trying to govern the charity as best as we can. So we don't have people on our books, which we think nominally they're a member, but in fact.
Roger,
Yeah.
Roger, can I interject just for a moment?
Yeah.
It is possible that sometimes people don't renew not because they're not interested, but it's just that it's not a priority for them, and they're not as efficient as they should be in their lives. What about when people join, you give them an opportunity for an annual standing order or a monthly standing order payment, so that it comes up their account every month or every year, whatever it might be. And because I think it's a matter of they just not, I don't think they leave for any other reason except that they're just not efficient in the way they handle themselves.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, I can respond. Tricia, were you going to say something?
I was just saying that, yeah, the options are there. The options are there. Yeah, go ahead, please, Chair.
No, yeah, so Andrew, you're correct. So that's exactly what we do. At the moment, people can pay by standing order, direct debit. I pay, by standing order, £5 a month, but not everyone wants to do that. Some people want to pay it in a lump sum when it's due. And again, that is their choice as well. So the choices are there. We can't make anyone pay it in any way. And I think the core reality is those are the individuals who are paying in the lump sum, who then we have to send the reminders out, because if you're paying, you don't get a reminder, because it just every year it just continues unless you expressly say you want to stop your membership. So the options are there, but again, people choose to do it that way for whatever reason. Maybe they like doing things or don't like doing direct debits. I don't know. But thanks for reminding us that we can do that as well. Okay. Okay, so any other questions, comments about the membership?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Have you got an opportunity for a lifetime membership?
No, we haven't.
Lifetime membership, what would that entail? What do you mean?
What it means is that someone pays a one-off amount of X amount that the board can come up with to join and support, basically supporting by lump sum. Saying that what we do is worthy and they'd like to support us, and they can put a lifetime membership. It could be any amount that you come up with.
Okay, no, we haven't. So I would suggest we consider that board at our next meeting. Someone needs to go on mute. Sorry. Thank you, Andrew. So unless anyone else objects, I will suggest board, can we discuss the lifetime membership suggestion that Andrew proposed and come up with a proposal? Board colleague?
Yeah, it's a good option.
Yes, something to be explored. Different levels of membership, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we put that down again. It will be in the notes, Tasha, but if we remember that's something an action we need to consider, lifetime membership. So thanks again. Okay, so that's it now. So we're coming to the end. Any questions from anyone? I know some people have asked once we go through, but I want to give everyone, you've taken your time to attend. Michelle, do you have any questions?
No questions for now, thank you.
Okay, Lisa, do you have any questions?
No, I think it's pretty clear that the next plan is for us to try and organize another fundraising event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, but nothing else. Nothing else. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. And Jeanette, any questions?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. Trisha, any questions?
Not questions, but just an appeal to the membership as a whole for there to be more, I don't know, engagement. We need suggestions from the general membership about different things that we can get involved in, do, etc. Just so that we know it's not just a board meeting however often for the year, and then we see the members twice for the year at the members meeting, and then coming towards the end of the year we have the AGM. So in between, if they can just be just that little bit more interaction with the general membership, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Agreed. Okay, good. Andrew, do you have any further comments or questions?
Well, yes, a couple. One, and both relate to membership, really. One is that how do you reach out to supporters for, say, for instance, your fundraising events? How do you reach out to them? Are they members and members' friends? Or how else do you do it?
Okay, so the former, yes, but also we've got an online presence. It's very active, but we've got a Facebook page. We've got a couple actually. We got a Facebook group page and a Facebook something else page. We've got an Instagram page. We've got a Twitter page. We got a LinkedIn page, and we've got a website. So in fact, you know, we've got all these things there. So we usually advertise these things through these forums and word of mouth, of course.
Okay, right. The other comment or question is, have you got access to the membership that High Commission mailing list? Not membership, but mailing list?
If we're speaking about the same thing,
no, not the same.
Because well, let me say no, I would say no, because what happened is when I started this group, the High Commission gave me a list of people with health, Trinbagonians who had some sort of health background. And we started that group, and that's the list that I initially was contacting people through. That initially came from the High Commission.
And
but in terms of a database with every Trinbagonian which they may have, I was once asked by, in fact, a couple of years ago, by the High Commission if I had such a list. I'm not sure what is the list referring to.
What I'm thinking is perhaps it'd be an opportunity with their mailing list to market and promote your next fundraising event.
Yeah, okay, definitely. And what they do, they have helped us. Roseman, I'll come to you in a minute. They have helped us in the past. So when we've had fundraisers, they have published it on their Facebook page. So not directly to the members, but anyone who accesses their page would have seen our advert. So any flyer we do for any promotion, we send it to them, and they've been helpful and supportive. I have to say that was when obviously Orville was the High Commission. We haven't had anything to do with them much since since the pandemic. Let's say that, yeah. But we will pursue when we do our introductions to them. whether they do have a global list, we can also directly, get in contact with people which if they're willing to share. I'm not sure, maybe. Thanks once again. It's another action. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, great. It's another action for us, board colleagues, for us to pursue. We have about 3 suggestions from Andrew to note. Okay, Rosamond, you have your hand up.
I was thinking that perhaps we can have some promotional items in the form of pens. I know these are the types of items that are always in circulation, but it would mean that these items, branded items, of course, Tthuf branded items, that but it would mean that these items would have to be given complimentary. So it's not like the t-shirts, because t-shirts have a certain reach, but not everybody dresses like that, and t-shirts don't always appeal. But everybody uses a pen or something that drawn from our own sort of West Indian background. A lot of people are accustomed to having Christmas, those calendars that we have in the West Indies of, bright, pretty pictures that's usually given out at Christmas time by various businesses. That's always, it's probably too late for that. But I just think, in terms of, it doesn't have to be expensive branded items, but I think that would have items that would have greater reach, and we can use and distribute on a regular basis as in between meetings, so as to keep or to give some sort of recognition and advertisement for Tthuf, because I think one of the main issues is that the Tthuf brand isn't out there. So it would help. And like I said, t-shirts only appeal to a certain sector, maybe the younger crowd, or maybe people of a certain, I don't know, certain extraction. So I think the pens have a wider appeal, or I don't want to say coasters, or maybe openers, or something, or key rings of some sort, that would have a greater reach and greater appeal, and would do more for us in terms of promotion. It's just a suggestion, but I think in terms of the brand, just to get the brand out there, it might be something that we can look at. I mean, just the other day I went to I was going past my normal takeaway, and I was given a really nice, it was my Chinese takeaway, was given a really nice calendar, and it reminded me of Christmas time in the West Indies, where that would be a normal thing. It would be complimentary. Most places that you shop at regularly would be giving out calendars at this time, and of course with the name, the brand at the top, so you can't miss it. So it's just something that we can think about, and just to get the name in circulation.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the suggestion. We will put that down as well. Of course, other than the t-shirts, we do have lapel pins, which we still have some. We don't give those out free though. Well, they're free for members. We just haven't had an opportunity for, for those who came to the AGM 2 years ago. If you were there, you should have received one. So they're free for members, but we do say they are $5 for non-members. But we just haven't had an opportunity to sell them. But we'll take those suggestions on board, or these things, of course, we would need to weigh up the cost versus the benefit. But if we think that's a way of marketing, and we are prepared to foot the cost, let's consider that. Let's put that down as another suggestion, board colleagues, and we will come up with some key things to focus on over the next 12 months. So thanks for the suggestion, Rosamond. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so going down. Sorry.
Go ahead, Roger. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Suzanne, any other questions?
I just shared something in the chat because I like the idea from Rosamond about getting our brand out there. So I was just thinking, our shopping bags, maybe we can have our logo on shopping bags, so it's reusable, it's going to be eco-friendly, and all the rest of it, as opposed to plastic bags.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you. Yeah, we're making a note of this, and it's being recorded. So when we meet next in January, we're going to have these things on the agenda. Right, Kurt, any comments?
I just wanted to say that thanks for the membership participation today. And there's something I just wanted to raise because it's been mentioned before over the last couple of years. We are trying to pursue a youth faction of the Tthuf. And I just want us to think about that going forward and keep it as something that we want to remain on the agenda, just encouraging the younger groups to be part of Tthuf. I think there's a lot of issues over the last 18 months about the impact of mental health on that age group between 16 and 25. So keeping that in mind and keeping that theme in mind, knowing that there's a lot of concerns being raised and a lot of money and funding is being pumped into that age group, I just want Tthuf to keep an open mind about how we could begin to attract that younger participation within Tthuf. So it might be seen as something other business, but I just wanted to raise it here.
No, that's good. It's fine. It's fine. Does anyone wants to respond to what Kurt has just mentioned about our youth engagement strategy? Because as you know, we don't have any youth in our organization. We all beyond a certain age. And if we want to consider longevity, we need younger people involved.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. It would encourage as you said, the longevity of the organization.
Okay. Right. Okay. So thanks, Kurt. So we're moving on now. Vashti, any comments, questions?
No, I have nothing to add, Roger.
Okay, thank you. Louise, any comments, questions? I know Louise had to be on mute for a while. Louise, I just want to give you the opportunity. I know her voice hasn't been well because of a cold. She's still on mute. Maybe it's gone now. Natasha. Louise.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am not really very well, but because it's a Zoom meeting, I decided to participate.
Sure.
I've listened to what everybody said, but the thing is, I cannot do a lot of talking because by the time I start talking, I start coughing.
Okay.
So this cold has left me with a smoker's cough, if you want to call it that way. I've never smoked in my life.
And you're Louise.
Pardon?
You sound wheezy to me.
It is, and I'm not asthmatic. That is just how it's left me. My eldest grandson, he came from nursery this cold, and we all got it, and it's now going on for about 4 weeks now. I've had a spell of antibiotics. I've just finished that, so I'm going to see what the next 48 hours will do. So that's why I'm keeping quiet. But I'm glad to see that Tthuf is progressing. And I can say a lot, but as I said, I am not in the mood to talk because I lost my voice, and you don't want to hear me cough, so that is why. Thank you.
You appreciate it, Louise. Don't exhaust yourself. Thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you so
But
much.
of course, any comments can be written on the chat. Any comments, observations, and so on can be shared in the chat.
Yes, you can. So feel free to do so or contact me offline outside the meeting. Louise, do look after your health. You get better soon, and we'll catch up soon. So thanks, Louise, and thanks for attending today despite your ill health. And now, Tasha, do you have any comments?
I'm here.
Any comments or questions?
No, all in all, very good meeting, and we are trying to reach out to others to join the board. And really, thanks for everyone who participated and joined in today, despite it being Sunday, and their kalu might be going cold, their macaroni pie. But thank you anyway.
Thanks, Natasha. And Rosamond, do you have any questions or comments? Rosamond, you're on mute. I know you had made a suggestion, but I haven't. Your hand is up as well, so I don't know if that's a legacy hand. Rosamond, if you're speaking, you're
That
on
might be an old hand, Roger.
okay. Okay, she's on mute anyway.
But that hand has been up for a while.
Okay, right. Did I miss anyone?
No.
Okay, I've covered everyone. Okay, right. Okay, so just any other business? I have got one, and then we will look to wrap up. Anyone else have any other business? No. Okay.
Nope.
So the one other
None
business,
for me, none.
okay, great. The one other business I have is that I've been contacted with, contacted by someone called Andre Phillips, a Trinbagonian, he lives in Trinidad, who is setting up a non-profit organization for diaspora organizations. Andrew, does the name Andre Phillips mean anything to you?
No, not at all. But I'm here. You can reach out to me here.
Oh, great.
I know him.
Who said they know him? Sorry.
Trisha.
Oh, Trisha, you know Andre.
If it's the same person, yes, he was one of my history teachers in high school.
Oh, well, we okay. Well, we'll have to talk about that. But he contacted me. I think he is setting up a non-profit organization to have like a database of diaspora organizations so that people can connect with each other, which I think is a good idea. So he said they're launching their website tomorrow, so we'll see. But what he wants to know is if we would want to be affiliated with his non-profit organization so that we'll become a member of their organization, and there'll be a link to our website from their website. So anybody accessing their website could come directly to our site and work in partnership with them. I don't know what that entails. It's just an email. I don't know what a partnership means, and I need to find out more information. So I will find out more information. And of course, as more as I know, we have a procedure which we follow, just like the World Cancer Research Fund. If it's something that it's authentic and viable, can be of benefit to achieve our objectives, we will consider and pursue it. And of course, we'll bring it back to you as members. So it's just something that, again, has just flagged. It would be fantastic because this will be a charity in Trinidad and Tobago, which, as you know, getting that communication with Trinidad and Tobago has been one of our stumbling blocks. So we'll see where that goes. I don't have any more information to give at the moment. In fact, only yesterday, although I'd spoken to him before, but he wasn't clear about it. He sent me an email yesterday that they were launching their website and what I've just said. He does have a Tobago office, Trisha, so maybe. He does have a Trinidad office as well in Charleville, and a Tobago office in Scarborough. So there you go. So watch out for this. It's called the Trinbago Diaspora Outreach Network. TDON. Okay, so you'll hear more as I receive more. So right, so well, we did well on time. So just a final vote of thanks. So from me as chair, listen, chairing this organization has been a pleasure in many ways. It has its challenges, definitely, as you all will know of them. But I have learned a lot during the last 4 years. And continue, I plan to continue chairing, for the foreseeable future until we are a viable organization. That is our main issue at the moment, how viable we'll be. We have the minimum number of trustees. That is a jeopardizing situation. But we're just about managing to keep our heads above water. If we become non-viable, there's a procedure you would need to follow, which we hope we don't get there, but we'll need to let the Charity Commission know, and there are things you do to make your there's a standard procedure to follow, but we're hoping we don't get there. I want to say thanks to my board colleagues who've been very good. Obviously, we've been there for many years, despite the comings and goings. So thank you for your support and dedication. It's all voluntary work. Everyone is working and giving up their time voluntarily. Thank you to the US members as well. Again, your support during the years have been very important. If we are to continue, we need your support to be continue as well. And thank you to Andrew as our patron. Andrew, we thank your contribution, not just today but over the last few years as well. Your suggestions and so on. We're always willing to learn. So thank you as well. We want who are not here as well. I want to say thank you. Thank you to the outgoing board members. Of course, none of them are here, but we have that recorded. And thank you to people who are not members and supported us. We've had people who've they've supported us in our curry queues. They haven't been members, but they've come and helped in the kitchen, or they've done it. They've donated stuff. Thanks to all the people who've participated in our raffles, our curry queues, our various other things. That I know people, they're not members, but when we have fundraisers, they're always willing to donate and so on. So I want to give thanks to all of them. It's these contributions that make Tthuf the charity it is. During a pandemic, as a healthcare charity, you're going to have challenges. There's no there's a lot of charities which have had to go out of business because of various things. They don't have access to venues and all this sort of thing. So we've had to adapt by being basically an online charity at the moment. That's who we are. So we plan to keep going, keep trying to do the best we can to improve healthcare for people, primarily in Trinidad and Tobago, but wherever they may be, and being the UK, being wherever they are, because that's our stated aims. And so thank you. So what we will do now, we'll come to the end of our AGM. We're going to take some action. We need to send you the revised financial statement, and we need to send you the notes from last AGM. I'm going to say, give you a time period to comment and get back to me so we can finalize them and sign them off. And our next meeting for members will be in January. We'll circulate the dates, but they basically will be, there are 4 committed dates, in the normal scheme of things. There are 2 members meetings, January and April. If we're doing a summer fundraiser, that's where we ask everyone to get involved in, usually July. The last 2 years, because we didn't have the curry queue, we had members meetings instead. And then we have the AGM. So once a quarter, some level of commitment. We're asking members. So also you can use your platform to also encourage your friends and family, what you know of Tthuf, and if they would like to be a member. Because I think, Suzanne, you had told me once of someone, I don't think they ever contacted me, but yeah, if they, they may have changed their mind, but if they want to speak to me, I'm always willing to talk to people about Tthuf and its objectives. Okay. Okay, lovely. So thank you all for your time. End of meeting at 2 minutes to 4, just on time. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, whatever you're doing, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks,
all.
Roger.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye from Trinidad.
Yeah, bye. Bye, Andrew. Okay.